So let's dive into these tariffs. Trump's tariffs have really thrown the economy into a tailspin, and Republicans are in full panic mode. I mean, we're talking about over 2 trillion wiped off the market in just 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, that's just insane, isn't it? It feels almost like watching history repeat itself, like a modern day economic disaster unfolding before our eyes.
Exactly, yeah. And what's wild is how even CNBC, normally so measured, described Trump's decision as worse than the worst case scenario. This isn't just business as usual, it's genuine chaos.
Right. And when you look at the numbers, the dramatic plunge in stocks, it's pretty surreal. I mean, wiping out trillions in minutes isn't something you see every day.
True, and the historical echoes are hard to ignore. Take, for instance, Senator Rand Paul referencing the McKinley tariffs from the 1890s and, the infamous Smoot-Hawley tariffs from the 1930s. Those tariffs not only hurt the economy, but also had deep political repercussions for Republicans losing congressional seats, even decades of control slipping away.
Yeah, exactly. That historical context really puts things in perspective. It's like, if you don't learn from the past, you're pretty much doomed to repeat the mistakes. But honestly, do you think current critics are a bit overblown? I mean, sometimes a drastic move forces reaction.
I mean, I see your point, but listen here. When you've got Vice President Mike Pence using a Fox News poll to show that 69% of Americans actually understand tariffs make everyday products more expensive, it's a clear sign. It's not just numbers flying out, it's everyday impact on family budgets and the national economy.
I get that. There's also that curious detail about the exemptions, exempting North Korea and Russia, of all places. That just adds to the whole surreal and controversial nature of it.
Absolutely. It's almost like a bizarre twist. I mean, excluding these two countries while imposing such severe tariffs on everyone else, especially when analyses show that these reciprocal tariffs are based on questionable logic and flawed calculations.
Yeah, that's something. And it's not just logic. There's the political fallout. I mean, Richard Hanania, a Trump voter, even went as far as to call this a moron administration. That's pretty telling, isn't it?
It really is. And while these tariffs might be hailed by some as a strong stance or a tough negotiation tactic, the reality seems to be, well, they're triggering fears of skyrocketing prices, increased unemployment, and a recession that could be even harsher than before.
Absolutely. It's interesting. There's this tension between sticking with outdated economic strategies and, recognizing that modern global trade dynamics have evolved so much. It almost seems like this approach is a throwback to the early 20th century.
Yeah, exactly. And when you consider Trump's tariff on Indonesian coffee imports, a 32% tax on something that the US doesn't even export to Indonesia, it's like, come on, get real. That move just screams miscalculation in terms of comparative advantage.
I can see that. It really jeopardizes critical trade relations and could even damage diplomatic ties with longstanding allies. But isn't it a bit simplistic to say that these tariffs alone will lead to an imminent recession? There are so many moving parts.
True, there are many factors at play, but historical evidence overwhelmingly indicates that trade wars tend to hurt domestic economies. Remember the 2018 tariffs against China? They led to billions in bailouts for farmers, significant losses for businesses, and weakened global standing for the US. Now, we might be looking at an amplified version of that scenario.
Yeah, and if this spiral continues, the economic toll could be really severe. Not to mention the political fallout. Republicans might face significant losses in future elections because of these debilitations. It's almost like setting up the opposition with a silver platter.
Precisely, and that's the irony. While Trump doubles down on these outdated economic tactics, the Republican base might actually suffer, almost handing a victory to the Democrats. It's a real lose-lose situation for everyone involved.
Even if some argue that strong tariffs could protect domestic industries, these moves seem to backfire by increasing costs for consumers and stifling overall trade. It's like tightening your grip on something that's already slipping away.
Yes, exactly. And don't forget the immediate market reaction. Over $2 trillion evaporated in mere minutes. That kind of volatility isn't just a blip. It signals potential long-term economic distress.
Right, absolutely. I still wonder, though, about the underlying calculations. Some analysts, including economic experts, suggest that these tariffs are based on a profound misunderstanding of current global trade practices. Would you agree that by underestimating these dynamics, there's a real risk of isolation for the US?
Exactly. It's like, imagine building a fortress based on outdated blueprints. The tariffs isolate the US from essential markets and, damage critical diplomatic ties. When you start excluding countries without solid reasoning, you quickly find yourself in a trade war spiral, and history shows exactly how painful that can be.
Yeah. And from a political perspective, this might be the tipping point. With rising consumer prices and job losses, the everyday voter is bound to feel the sting. That political fallout could be, as you've said, a silver platter for the opposition. It's a risky, long-term strategy.
Absolutely. In fact, while some might say the tariffs are a bold move, I respectfully challenge that notion. They're reckless economic maneuvers at best. They risk not only domestic economic stability, but also the political future for those championing them.
So, summing it up, these tariffs are causing dramatic market volatility, risking a deep recession, and might lead to serious political consequences for Republicans in the long haul. And all of this while being underpinned by outdated economic strategies. It's a fascinating, if not alarming scenario.
Exactly right. It's a potent reminder of how policy decisions in one arena ripple across the entire spectrum, economic, political, and global. This situation is like a cautionary tale about not learning from historical missteps.
Yep.
And frankly, it leaves a lot to be desired in terms of strategic foresight.
Indeed, and it leaves us all wondering, can this run be stopped before the next domino falls? Only time will tell, but the stakes couldn't be higher.
Well, that's a wrap on today's deep dive. It's a wild and worrisome picture, but one that has us all paying attention, learning from the past, and hoping for a more stable future.
Absolutely, yeah.